I have the pleasure of welcoming Victoria Ransom. She is a young woman entrepreneur who is running a hot startup, Wildfire Enterprise, that is a Type 50 winner in the internet social media space. It's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Off the bat, how does it feel to be among the top 50? We have 1,600 plus companies were nominated.
It feels wonderful. It's a real big honor, and even more so now that I'm here today and see what a huge conference this is and a huge event. So I'm honored, and thank you very much for your involvement in the whole thing.
You know, as an organization which is, we feel, the largest in the world fostering entrepreneurship, we always are about fostering entrepreneurship, inspiring entrepreneurs, and emerging entrepreneurs just like yourself.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, as a woman entrepreneur, do you feel there are some extra challenges, or do you think it is advantageous in some ways to be a woman entrepreneur?
So I'm going to speak from my own experience, because I've heard other women say that they've had a lot of challenges, and I think that could well be true. In my experience, honestly, I've never felt any particular special challenge because I'm a woman. We were very well received by investors, customers, obviously, employees. So I've never felt that it's any kind of disadvantage whatsoever. And in fact, because it's rather unusual, I think sometimes it's helpful. And I can say, for example, that some of our employees were inspired to join our company because it was run by a woman. So if it's a way to attract great talent and great female talent, even better. So that's a plus. So I've never felt that it's been a disadvantage. Having said that, by the time I was out raising money, we had a very successful company with traction, with customers, with revenues. Maybe if I was going out just with an idea and a dream, I would have felt differently. But for me, it's been a fabulous experience.
Let's talk about the company. You're in the social media space.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were challenges before you jumped into this particular niche market.
Sure.
So the idea is, if you have a company, and now you have Facebook, and Twitter, and other platforms, should be easy.
For a business to do marketing?
Absolutely.
So actually, I would say it's getting easier, but it's not that easy initially. And that's because, so compare it to something like Google, where you're reaching someone who's looking to engage with businesses. They're trying to buy a product from a business. Facebook, people are there to hang out with their friends. They're there to be entertained. They're not necessarily looking to engage with a business. So as a business, you've got to be more creative about how you reach out to a consumer and how you give them a reason to want to engage with you. There are plenty of ways to do it. And when you do that, you can form a really strong relationship with that consumer. You can encourage them to spread the word to their friends, but you've got to be giving them a reason. And what studies have shown is things like, and that was our hypothesis when we started Wildfire, things like promotions, like deals, contests, giveaways, entertainment are really critical. They're the number one reason that people will engage with brands on social media. But to do that, you've got to go out and build some kind of custom application to run these kind of campaigns. Or what Wildfire's premise was, let's create a platform that enables a company to run any kind of engaging social media marketing campaign by going through some easy steps, no technical expertise required. You create your campaign, you publish, click of a button to Facebook, to Twitter, to your website, integrated with Facebook Connect. So we've really made it a lot easier, but without tools like Wildfire, it can be complicated.
So you have picked a niche area in social media.
Not so niche. it's a big area. I would say social media is an emerging space, but it's the biggest change to take place in marketing since
So
Google.
the promotion part is what I was referring to, and obviously there is competition. So I'm trying to understand, how do you stand out? How are you different? So there could be some learning experience for other aspiring entrepreneurs.
So I think for us, a couple of the things that have really differentiated us. First of all, we really are focused on campaigns that drive results, measurable, tangible results. So at the end of the day, you can use Wildfire and see, how many leads did I get? How many referrals did I get? How many customers did I drive into my store? How many coupons were redeemed? Which I think one of the big complaints for companies doing social media is it's hard for them to measure what kind of impact it's having. So a lot of companies out there have sort of focused more on how do you listen to what people are saying about you, and how do you manage your Facebook fan page, as opposed to how do you run campaigns that really drive results. So Wildfire, I think, has distinguished itself in that way. The other thing, we've really always focused on ease of use, so providing a genuinely self-service platform that anyone can use. I think a lot of other solutions require a little more expertise and or support from the company than Wildfire does.
But your previous company where you ran the travel business, so you saw some challenges reaching out to customers, and that's what
inspired Wildfire. Yeah.
If you can elaborate a bit on that, so understand
Sure.
for us to understand the pain point rather.
Sure.
And see.
So soon after Facebook launched their fan pages for businesses, we were really inspired by that. My co-founder and I, Alan, had a global adventure travel company, and our target audience was exactly the target audience that Facebook attracted at that time. Facebook's audience has expanded a lot since then. So we were really excited about the possibilities of creating a fan page for our travel company, but we created the page, and that was fairly simple. But then we realized, well, why is someone going to want to become our fan? Why should they? And so we realized that giving away a free trip would be a great way to ramp up our fans and our audience. But what we realized is that the process of running a giveaway or a sweepstakes was complicated. You had to create an application so that you could take advantage of the viral features of Facebook. So that really made us realize, well, if that's a challenge for us, that's going to be a challenge for any small and medium-sized business wanting to run a fan page on Facebook. So we launched an application, initially very simple, just to help a business run a sweepstakes on Facebook. What we discovered is that much bigger companies than we imagined would be interested initially suddenly showed interest. So we had Kayak and Zappos as some of our first customers. So we realized the market was even bigger than we thought, because also large agencies and brands were looking for simple, turnkey, usable solutions. So from there, we expanded the vision well beyond just sweepstakes and beyond just Facebook to tap into other social platforms as well. But it all started because of our own need with Access Trips.
If I were to ask you, I know it's difficult to probably look at one big pain point as you're growing, but if you were to pick one and tell us where you see the next pain point for you and how you're trying to overcome that.
So I would say the pain points, people always like to ask what keeps you up at night. It really varies depending on the stage of the business and what's happening at any given time. So I think how I would answer that today would have been different, certainly, than how I would have answered it 2 years ago. Today, honestly, one of the challenges is, I'd answer two challenges I'd see today. Just finding high quality staff at the rate that we need them. We've grown from 7 employees at the beginning of 2010 to over 100 today. And we have very high standards when we hire. So keeping those standards high while hiring at that rate is a challenge. The other is just there's so much potential for us. There's so much opportunity. There's so many directions we could take our technology, our customer base. There's international locations we could be going after more aggressively. So how do we as a startup take advantage of those opportunities without stretching ourselves too thin, I think is a constant tension that you have in a business that's growing really fast.
Well, on behalf of everybody here, we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And good of you to come and share.
No, thanks very much. Thanks to you. It's a great opportunity.
All right.